weird one. I had this idea during my last video of perhaps swapping between different ReShade presets depending on the environment. So for example, this is daytime. This is what it looks like without ReShade. This is with ReShade. I also fixed my frames per second issue. ReShade now is doing no hit to my performance because I turned off a couple of key elements, namely under, if we go to add-ons, I turned off generic depth and effect runtime sync. With those off, especially this one, ReShade is not considering the depth buffer when it comes to like changing the colors of things. Because of that, I'm also not getting rid of the haze. You can see the haze. The haze, to calculate the haze, the game has to actually use what's called the depth buffer to see how far away something is. And if something's farther away, you can say, remove some of that haze. Well, I'm not doing that. But I am making the game pop a little bit more because I don't want that frames per second hit. You can see without anything, I'm at 55 roughly. With it, I'm still like in the 55 area, right? It's bouncing around. Maybe there's a slight hit just because I'm outside. But right there, see, I'm not, there's no performance hit. Maybe it's when I'm looking at things very, very, very far away that the GPU is already working so hard that adding this little bit of like color correction as a layer on top of the finished image as a post-processing layer is maybe doing 1, maybe 2 DPS or FPS. But even then, it's hard to tell, maybe. But I think it looks so much better. So what I've done is I've made 3 presets, one for daytime, one for nighttime, and one for interiors. And the reason I'm doing different presets is because I'm changing a few things here. And I may dial these back if the performance hit, like if adding each of these makes it play worse. Like if I turn off Technicolor and level gamma gain, like if this gives me just enough of a pop without frames per second hit, and I think that's what I was doing before when I was seeing no hit. So I could go in here and say, okay, I want my black point during the day, see I'm on the day preset, to be a little bit more, to make it pop more, and then I want my white point to be down a little bit more, so I have more contrast during the day. Because daytime tends to be very contrasty, right? So there's without, there's with, and you might think, oh, it's too much, way too much. And that's fair. You know, this is just all personal taste. But now I'm getting, yeah, effectively no frames per second hit. I think that's what it was. I was testing without lift, gamma gain, and Technicolor, and I was getting no hit. So yeah, it makes sense that doing this outside, I would maybe have those off, right? Because this looks really good for me. Because if you go outside during the day with the camera, for instance, the dynamic range of daytime and daylight is so vast that you're gonna either crush your blacks or blow out your highlights, or both. So that it makes sense that this would be like all contrasty, right? Now if I go into an interior like this, and I need to remember what the order is with my keybinds. I have page up and page down assigned. See, it's too much. I have page up and page down assigned to like interiors. So this is, notice I'm at 60 FPS, with or without. There's with, here's without. Now I have made interiors slightly warmer using the lift gamma gain. So you can see I'm lowering the gamma curve a little bit for all 3, R, G, and B, but I'm raising it just a bit for reds. And I'm also saturating it very slightly, right? So now we have a little bit more warmth on interiors because interiors tend to be lit by candles. Tend to be. In Alien Ruins, it's the Welkin stones and other crystals, but in interiors, and that's a different preset. So now let's go to an Alien Ruin, and we'll look at the interior, or the interior preset I have for dungeons as well. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. The enemies are back. Yeah, it's fine.
I'll hack you to pieces! Take that!
Is there another one here? Good. They're still using iron. That's excellent. All right. I don't want them to be using... I'm looking into other add-ons that like limit what enemies can get as far as their armor goes. Like when you hit level, 15 or whatever, they're not going to be in glass armor. Okay, so we're going to go here, and was I still in the interior one then? See, that's the thing, is I got to remember to switch it. So there's day, there's night, there's interiors. So here's without, here's with. It's not a lot, it's just subtle. It's just a subtle change. It's interesting that all these instances have reset. So before, after. And I wonder maybe if I use the night preset, I wonder if that would work better. That's sort of a bluish. I have a blue tint on night because, the sky or night tends to have a bluish haze to it for some reason. I know the reason, sort of. It's Rayleigh scattering, and that's why shadows during the day have a blue cast to them, because the sun's not directly on it, and you get the Rayleigh scattering from the molecules in the air, right? I believe that's the term, Rayleigh scattering. I could be completely butchering my memory there. But so we go into interiors. I could tweak this a bit more to make Alien Ruins look better. So it's always a trade-off. You're going to make one thing better, and something's going to be worse. So I can go in here and say, let's crush the blacks a little bit more when we're inside. And I could make a separate one for dungeons if I want. I could make 5 of them. I just have to remember what to go to. And I can go like this, well, maybe not this way, but you can go either like this, or you can use the presets. Like the day one looks really good because it's crushing the black so much. Maybe I should crush them a bit more, or maybe bring this down a bit to bring the gamma way down. I think I had these. I was testing a dungeon. I had this all the way down to 0.8, which really brought the illumination of the interior down without crushing the blacks. So if we do this all the way down to 0.8, it's just more precise to go this way. We'll raise this back up a little bit. Whoops. Raise this back up a little bit to crush the blacks a little bit less. There we go. That looks good. That's what I want.
Say they have been called back to Black Marsh.
Huh?
They disappeared into the swamps.
Where are you?
See again.
Where
Right here.
are you?
A strange place indeed.
Farewell.
Is she gonna hide? Oh, she's pathing weird. Weird pathing. Does it knock her back, or is that just a natural reaction to the firebolt or the flare? Oh, both doors, or one of the doors is open this time. Before it was closed, and there was an NPC stuck in here. Ooh. But before, after. Now that's interior. If I go to day, yeah, the day has a little bit too much contrast and not enough gamma correction. So night, no, way too bluish. But interiors, yeah, that might be the trick. I mean, it'd be nice to have one for everything, but I don't think that's feasible. I could actually go and crush the blacks a bit more. There is a thing here where you can say, show me what's being stripped out, what's being lost in the process of crushing the blacks. And I don't think this is entirely accurate. I think this is just saying below a certain threshold, right? Like this is so dark that on some monitors you can no longer see it perhaps, but I have like a fake HDR mode on my monitor, so it's able to show it. I can still see some detail here if I were to go all the way down. Of course, you can see more. But, you know, you have to decide how much detail I'm willing to lose to make this pop like that. And I could even go in and say, let's bring the white point up a bit to increase contrast, or lower the white point to make lighter colors lighter, right? And this might be the trick right here. I could even go more. Since it's an interior, I can be like, okay, well, the camera has opened up a bit. So now we're sort of amplifying what little range there is here. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Let's go do this. Yeah, I like that. And you can see the night setting less, the day setting less, interiors, and now I can bring the black point back up. Let's have sort of a more dramatic exposure here. Heck, I could bring this up to 12 even.
Good friend. This is another.
What's new?
Yeah, this looks really
I ran
good.
into some goblins in the woods not long ago. Nasty little beasts.
Look, before, washed out, after. Now this is a dungeon. I can still see everything. I can actually see things a little bit better than before because of the enhanced contrast. I want to make sure I get the bandit before I get the bandit boss, because the bandit boss, like, is harder to kill. I think I already got the alien stones, which is why they're not here. Those don't respawn.
Who's there?
Here's the basic bandit. I'll probably be tweaking these over time, but I really like, there's the bandit boss. More headgear, more elaborate. Yeah, there's the ringleader. Oh, don't back up into a thing. Oh boy. He's Boy, he keeps healing himself, jerk. I do need to get this to 25, so I don't have to expend
Is the
fatigue.
baby gonna cry?
Yes, I'm gonna cry. You got me. You pegged me. Okay, let's just grab all this and we'll figure out what we're gonna wear. All right, so drop that, wear that, drop that. That way you don't have to repair. Ooh, fur gauntlets. Oh yeah, I think I already did that. Fur shield, fur helmet. Yeah, let's go a full fur outfit. Ooh, nice. And then I'm gonna keep the rough leather shield because more block. Course linens, goodbye. There she is. She's a badass. Yeah, look at this. It's just bleh. That right there. So much better. Okay, so now when we go outside, that's our interior. I might set up a separate one for dungeons rather than like building interiors. Like this might not work well for, you know, going to buy things from the merchant. It might be like, whoa, dramatic merchant shop. Whoa. Yes, I did hit level 2 during testing. And now we go daytime. Yeah, this is, interiors is a bit too bright. See how we're washing out the highlights? I mean, this doesn't look bad either. I may just, I may blow out the highlights here too. Like if I go here and go white point to 210 or 200, right? That looks really good. And it doesn't affect frame rate. That's really good. And now, yeah, everything closes down. The iris closes down. You can see the little waves of exposure come in. And now that comes back. right? Because here, close down the lens, open the lens back up. Now this might be too much. I might actually need to turn on, does lift gamma gain affect frame rate? 59, 60, 57, 58, it looks like it does. Or maybe it doesn't. But this looks really good with lift gamma added. Yeah, I could even pump this down even more. Problem is moving it by hand, it goes so quickly. Let's see, I want RGB, I want a little bit more red, a little bit more green, because it's yellow sun. Maybe a little bit less crushing of the whites, or blowing out of the whites. Yeah, and I don't even detect any performance penalty when I do this. I think it's the Technicolor add-on that does the nasty business to the frame rate. So I'll just have to leave that off when I'm outside. It doesn't really add much anyway, even to the interior. So like if I go to the night one, I could even turn this off. And because night affects, you know, out in the world. So interiors, so day. So yeah, I still have the haze, but you know what? It doesn't give me a performance hit. And adding the contrast brings some of the detail even out of the haze, like in the distance. This looks more realistic as far as daytime goes. Is that too much blowing out of the highlights? It's hard to say. Be settle on 220. Because that, right there, mwah, beautiful. Love the richness. I love how this brings the color back because it's not grayed, washed out, you know? You don't even need a Technicolor color enhancement or a saturation adjustment. You just need to fix the exposure, and that fixes many other things. Now, it looks like it doesn't hurt the capture in OBS, which is good. I'm not missing any frames due to rendering lag or encoding lag, and these settings would have nothing to do with streaming lag or network lag, so that's good. Before, it's not terrible, but that is beautiful. This is the color that was already there, right? This color was always there. It's just being hidden behind that gray layer of bleh. Again, no adjustment. Well, I am pumping. I'm not pumping color. I'm very slightly altering the fact that there's going to be a slight bit more red and a slight bit more green. But even with this off, you can see, whoops, the color pops just by fixing that one thing. So this is, yeah, this is good. This is very good. There's probably some edge cases where I could drop 1 or 2 frames with just these two on, but not like 3 or 4 or 5 frames like with those other modules installed. Oh God, look at that. Oh my gosh. Now I could, if I wanted to, compensate for the fact that everything's so dingy out here. Like I could say, okay, less yellow, but more blue. Like I say, you know, let's make everything more bluish. Just try to remove some of that yellow haze. As an extreme example, I could go like this. You can see there's far less, maybe keep green up there. Okay, there's an extreme example. No more reds, right? Don't want that, but we can go, and here's way too much blue. Bleh! So there is a sort of an art to it to try to simulate both daytime and removing the weird redness of everything. But if I just try to standardize on some numbers here for daytime, I'm on day, right? I am on day. And we'll just bring the green down where it belongs. Bring the blue up a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, it's like, it's rough having this much weird coloring in the everything. But that's the color of the game, I guess, right? Okay, now here's without sunlight shining down, and now it looks weird. So maybe it's maybe I can't lift the gamma and have sunlight look good, or like have the daytime look good without the sun actually shining on things. And now I'm to the point where the black point is too low. It's going to be difficult to find like a happy medium. Just a subtle pump with a subtle gamma lift or gamma crush. Oh boy, it's tricky. There's probably not too many ways to make a hazy day look better. Right? I could always try a lift to blue. To try to eliminate some of that redness of the world. Hard to say if that's vastly improved or worse. I think if you can do with less, that's better. Pump this up to 920. So we don't crush the gamma so much. Just a, more subtle adjustment. We want to add without losing anything. There's a sort of pukey exposure here anyway. This is with it off, right? So it's already sort of like a weird exposure where we've got this weird not overexposed, but underexposed foreground. And if I try to fix that, then it's not going to really do much. So let's remove the blue lift. That's not really helping. Maybe it's too much. It looks like it's the prelude to a storm, right? Like there's a storm coming, or maybe it's nighttime, that's it. So now we can go to the nighttime preset and fix this up a little bit. I'll go in here and make sure that my Technicolor is not on. So this with, without. See, I like this. Bring this down a little bit more. I don't want to blow out the highlights. See that? That's way too much. So I might just leave these maybe just a little bit. But I do want the nighttime to look bluish. So I am lifting the blue gamma just a little bit, right? See how bluish it looks? So there's without, there's with. Blue cast everywhere. Because, you know, it's nighttime and it just looks better that way to my eyes. It's a bluish nighttime. I mean, you're not supposed to be out at night. It's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be bluish. As the moonlight hits the atmosphere and rarely scatters. Let me make sure I'm using that term right. Yes, okay, that's right, rarely scattering. So the reason the nighttime is blue is because you don't have the sun, first of all. Then you have this sort of dimmer starlight and moonlight hitting the atmosphere, being rarely scattered by the molecules in the air. And the atmosphere itself is actually very blue, right? Because if you don't have the yellow sun, because the sun is actually sort of a yellow color, it sort of counteracts that. So now we have this blue effect everywhere because that's just what the sky, that's the color of the atmosphere. I mean, I might get some of those technical details wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's why. And that's why when they do day for night shooting in movies, they actually put a blue filter over everything. Why am I losing frames? Well, my wife's Mac might be backing up. But yeah, it's a thing. Before, after. Before, I can see everything. I can do whatever I want at night because it doesn't matter. Now, ooh, it could be a little bit dangerous. I might have to be careful. I can't see things as well. In the original game, to my memory, was more like this. You know, it's like just really crushed. So even this is being generous as far as like what night looks like compared to the original game. And so 54, 56, 55, 56. Okay, if there is a penalty, it's only by like a frame, which is totally fine. That's worth it to me to get that. Now let's look at the other presets. This is interiors. There's night, interiors. I don't know, that looks good too, doesn't it? Let's see, what am I doing there? Oh, I'm doing the Technicolor. Right. So if I turn that off. Whoops. Night, interiors. Night, interiors. Oh, right, because I'm pushing the white point for that. Night. Boy, the interiors one looks so good. I might just use this at night. Because now it looks like nighttime, right? Because you can't see very much. It's dark. You're not supposed to see. Like this is like, it's like someone turned on a light in the whole world that's not supposed to be there. Here, it looks like nighttime. I mean, yes, I'm crushing the blacks a lot because it's night. And shadows being cast at night with no backfill light should be black. Because there's no light there to illuminate, you know, because of the ambient occlusion, and because of the fact that there's no direct light source. This is like really good. Now, are the interior lighting too dark? Like the interior lighting should be Yeah, I can't control that separately, sadly. Be nice if that was brighter. Maybe if I go to a town, it'll be brighter. Okay, so what are my settings here? I'm night. So I'm raising the black point. I'm lowering the white point to try to get a more dramatic effect. So there's interiors. Here's night. Boy, it looks so good. Okay, I'm lifting the gamma of the blue a little bit for nighttime. Let's try this. So interiors, night. Interiors, night. I think the only thing changing there is the black point, right? Yeah. Interiors have that at 12. I think I do like it more crushed. Because now it looks like a more realistic night. And to be fair, a lot of this should just be gray because night vision, we don't have night vision, so the color, the cones in our eyes don't really respond. This should all just be gray if this were being really realistic. We would just like reduce the saturation for anything that isn't lit. Like anything over a certain amount of exposure, yes, that can have color, but everything below that is just gray or completely desaturated. Like if I did this, I would go Technicolor and then like totally desaturate it, you know? Even this is too much color. Because our eyes would go, oh yeah, this is what nighttime looks like to our eyes, right? But up there, it would be color because there's light, there's exposure. See, that looks like night. This looks really good. Maybe even a little bit more blue. No, that's enough. And then interiors, less blue. Nighttime, just a touch more blue. Because really, that's the only thing changing, right? Just that one value. Maybe I can move these down a little bit to compensate. Go down to 7, actually bring this up to 840. Take these down to 780, because I want the effect to be the same amount of exposure. So, whoops. Interiors, night. Interiors, night. The effective exposure is about the same, just with a little bit more blue at night. Now, of course, I'm looking at this on my HDR simulated monitor, right? Like if I turn off the simulation, then this goes really dark, like super dark. Like I would not want to play this dark, usually. And I don't want to have to make a separate preset for this is with HDR on and this is with HDR off. I don't want that. That's just too much work. And if I could just settle on just 2 presets, that would be great. Like a bright environment and a dark environment. Like this is dark environment, so this would be the dark. And then daytime comes and I go bright environment. Let's see how this looks in interior like this inside this building here. Okay, so this is the interior preset. This is the night preset. Is there any noticeable difference? Interiors. Yeah, so the night one does have a little bit more of a bluish cast. So if I go interiors, now we're here. Now if I go in here and say, let's pump the reds just a little bit. green just a little bit. We'll bring the blue down to compensate. So warmth, sorry, coldness, colder, warmer, colder, warmer, based on interiors versus night. So night is colder. You can see it more like in the background right there. Whoops, not day, night, interiors, night. And this might just be way too anal, right? I might just settle on one for dark, one for light, and just be done with it. Because that way I can just toggle. I don't have to like remember which direction I'm going. Like, oh yeah, night, right. Without, it's not ugly, but that is gorgeous. And some of this you could do with and what I was doing was I was going to the system video and I was changing this brightness intensity. And it's sort of like doing the same thing, right? So where you're like, you know, lower it for interiors and dark environments, raise it up to simulate things better, you know? Or maybe you want to see dark environments better, but this to me is so much better. And then the daytime would have a different setting. There's night and day, night and day, and then off for both. And as far as I could tell, no perceptible frames per second hit, at least not more than one, which makes this a perfectly adequate way to do this. Now, if they had built better settings into the game itself, then this wouldn't be needed. But yeah, I'm sold. This is excellent. Let's wait for the sunrise. Let's see. Whoops, not 24 hours. Let's go 3 hours. Sunrise is at what, 6? I know the sky starts to lighten up at 5. But now I can go page up to day as the daytime arrives. Like I could leave it on night, and then when the sun finally pokes its head, I can go bloop, daytime with the page up button. Page down night, page up day. And I could do this at any time. I wish there were a button to hide the UI. Like those icons and the compass. I need a keybind to like hit U for hide UI, or H for HUD, show HUD, hide HUD. Night, interior, day, before, after, before, after. By the way, let's look at the definition here really quick. Here we go. I spelled it wrong, of course. Elastic scattering of light by particles much smaller than wavelength of light. Funnel responsible blue for color of the sky, white color of the clouds. Blah, 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 blah. There you go. It's named after a person, right? Yeah, there we go. That's why I didn't know the name, or the actual spelling of it, because it's actually a name. But yeah. Ah, there we go. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Before, after. And this is with the night setting. Before, after. I'll just keep it on the day setting. Because this should generally be better during the day. Before, after. So I've fixed the exposure and the graphics a bit. I've fixed the mapping so that when I'm inside an interior of some kind or the city and I hit M, it'll go to the local map. So that's good. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, when I hit M, it shows or hides the map as opposed to having to hit escape to hide the map. So that's nice. MM. I also very early on picked a mod that changes the box that appears when you loot something and when you look at something. Like, see how it's not like a really solid black box around his name? It's sort of like a gray. That was another one that I got that was like, every time I was on my horse and I would point at my horse, it was like, you know, something paint horse. And it was like this big black box. I'm like, ugh, why is it doing that? I could also have a preset like for sunrise, you know, that just really goes to town on this setting. So it's just insane, you know, like that, you know, where it really amplifies the effect. I think it was on 7, but I'll leave it on 8. All right, well, that's enough fun for now on this. I like this a lot. This is good. So I'm going to not save any of my settings or any of my progress. I'm just going to quit the game and go do some other things and come back and work on that one quest. The Tears of the Guardian, I believe.